Financially, weaving Jackson into the Lakers' textured cap sheet would demand both savvy and sacrifice. The mid-level exception might cover his first year, but locking him up long-term would involve creative sign-and-trade mechanics, perhaps packaging the expiring contract of Malik Beasley or even dangling the likes of Rui Hachimura as sweeteners. Imagine a proposal: Hachimura, Dalton Neck's burgeoning promise, a 2031 first-round pick, plus a 2026 pick swap to entice Memphis. It's an exorbitant ask, but for a player still on his rookie-scale deal, the Grizzlies would see both immediate and future value. Such a deal would hinge on spot availability under the luxury tax threshold, forcing Rob Pelinka to carefully balance veteran salaries against youthful upside. Could the Lakers front office have the audacity to reimagine their roster grid, shedding role players for generational talent? The very notion sparks both excitement and anxiety, because in today's NBA, seizing the opportunity often means mortgaging depth. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I can't wait to read your takes on this potential seismic off-season move. Beyond spreadsheets and trade trees lies the critical human element. Jaren Jackson Jr. isn't just a defensive maestro, he's a competitive spark plug whose leadership resonates in Memphis's locker room. He speaks openly of his championship aspirations, the hunger that drives him to film sessions at 5 a.m. and extra workouts after team practice. Pairing that mentality with the Lakers' ethos, where every game feels like a playoff showdown, could catalyze a cultural renaissance. Imagine Jackson, Davis, and LeBron James bonding over film, pushing each other through grueling sessions, teaching younger talents like Max Christie the grit required to win in L.A. Could Jackson's work ethic and accountability become the very elixir the Lakers need to mend lapses in focus and defensive intensity? In a franchise where complacency has crept in amid star-studded lineups, a voice like Jackson's, unwavering in its demand for excellence, might be the spark that reignites a championship mindset, and let's not forget the marketing and narrative windfall. Jackson Jr. sliding into the Lakers' purple and gold would become an instant media sensation. Jackson's arrival completes Lakers' Big Three, blaring across ESPN tickers. Picture social media feeds lighting up with clips of his patented five-star chase-down blocks, his corner threes splashing in clutch moments, and his elastic lob finishes above the rim. Could this storytelling magic mobilize a new generation of Lakers fans, boost jersey sales, and transform the league's promotional landscape? It's no small consideration, because in LA, basketball transcends sport, morphing into spectacle. If Jackson becomes the missing puzzle piece that brings the Lakers back to the mountaintop, this move won't just be judged by wins and losses, but by the cultural ripple effect it unleashes. Yet, for every tantalizing upside, there's a shadow of doubt. Memphis might simply value Jackson too highly to let him go, envisioning him as the cornerstone of their own future. And the Lakers, acutely aware of Davis's health, must ponder: is it prudent to invest so heavily in yet another big man, risking financial inflexibility and potential locker room displacement? This is the gambit of contenders, betting on transformative talent while balancing the tightrope of cap restrictions, player buy-in, and long-term roster architecture. Could the franchise that once won titles with Kareem, Magic, and Worthy have the boldness to remake its blueprint around Davis and Jackson? Or will they, even if they dare to pursue, ultimately shudder at the sacrifice required, retreating to safer, incremental tweaks instead of seismic shifts? Imagine Nick Claxton stepping into the purple and gold, towering at 6'11", with a wingspan that blankets the paint. He could transform the Lakers' interior defense overnight. Since the James Harden-Kevin Durant days in Brooklyn, Claxton has carved out a reputation as one of the most nimble bigs in the league, consistently guarding the rim at an all-defensive level. Could his arrival stop the bleeding on the glass and turn the Lakers into a true switch-heavy squad, capable of neutralizing any pick-and-roll attack? The thought alone sends shivers through opposing coaches' game plans. On the offensive end, Claxton's unique blend of athleticism and touch would complement a backcourt led by LeBron James or Luka Doncic. Picture him bursting off double teams for thunderous lobs, forcing defenses to collapse and opening lanes for slashers. His ability to roll hard and finish through contact would inject a new dimension into LA's half-court sets, particularly valuable in late clock scenarios. When spacing collapses, is it possible that Claxton becomes the missing lob threat? The same way fans once clamored for Anthony Davis to catch alley-oops in Staples Center? Then there's the intangible impact. Claxton's energy is contagious. Whether it's pulling, down a 50-50 rebound, or contesting a floater, his motor never quits. In a Lakers locker room that has seen defensive lapses lead to early playoff exits, injecting Claxton's relentless effort could spark a cultural shift. Some insiders believe his commitment to defense and selfless play would resonate with younger role players, inspiring a collective buy-in on the less glamorous but equally vital end of the floor. Could this be the spark that reignites LA's championship DNA? Of course, executing a trade won't be simple. Sending Rui Hachimura, Gabe Vincent, and a 2031 first-round pick to Brooklyn represents significant capital, and the Nets would demand more if they sense desperation. Yet, if Rob Pelinka can package the right combination of youth and future assets, this blockbuster move could be a signal to the entire league. The Lakers aren't just tinkering. They're all in on reclaiming defensive supremacy. Is LA ready to bet its future on the next generation of rim protectors? Ultimately, the question becomes this: do the Lakers dare to swing for a transformational piece like Nick Claxton, or will they settle for incremental upgrades? In a season where a healthy Anthony Davis and LeBron James still carried them to a high seed, adding Claxton could be the difference between a deep playoff run and another abrupt exit. So, Lakers fans, dream big. Could Claxton don the gold and purple and anchor the paint the way LA legends have done for decades? In the end, the question lingers. Could acquiring Jaren Jackson Jr. be the turning point that finally marries the Lakers' lethal offense with an unbreakable defensive spine? Or is it an off-season fever dream, wild-eyed fan fiction born from playoff frustrations? One thing is certain. For a franchise built on the ethos of the big man and the grandeur of championship lore, this speculation strikes deep chords. The next chapter of Lakers basketball might hinge on this very decision. Adulting time is coming, LA faithful, and only the boldest move-makers will rewrite history. What's your take? Are you ready for Jackson Jr. to don purple and gold? Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, where we bring you the latest and most exciting sports news every single day. Tonight, we're diving into a blockbuster possibility that could reshape the very identity of the Los Angeles Lakers. Could Jaren Jackson Jr., the 6'11", four-time all-defensive front-runner from the Memphis Grizzlies, be headed to Hollywood to fill the Lakers' glaring need at center? Before we spill the details, though, let me ask you this. What if the Lakers front office pulls off the kind of seismic move that sends shockwaves through the NBA? Would LeBron and Luka suddenly have the rim protector of their dreams? Keep watching, because we're just getting started. It all stems from that stinging first-round exit at the hands of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Remember Game 5, when Rudy Gobert turned Crypto.com Arena into his personal pick-and-roll laboratory, dropping 27 points, hauling in 24 rebounds, and swatting away shot after shot? The Lakers simply didn't have the length or defensive anchor to match up. When Anthony Davis walked out the door in February's blockbuster trade, we knew the Lakers would sacrifice some interior size for perimeter firepower, but no one anticipated just how gaping that hole in the paint would become. For an offense-led team like LA, that shortfall turned into a defensive liability, one that undermined every other schematic adjustment. So, imagine this. Jaren Jackson Jr., the former Defensive Player of the Year finalist, sliding into that paint. On paper, he ticks every box. He's got the 7'5" wingspan to challenge shots, the quick feet to hedge on pick and rolls, and a 37% career three-point percentage that opens up the floor. Pair that with Luka Doncic's gravity. Think of all the kickouts to Jackson in the corner or the lob threats when Luka draws double teams. Could the pick and roll finally become the nightmare for opponents that it's always promised to be in Hollywood? It's hard not to get excited simply picturing Jackson rising for a chase-down block as LeBron crashes the offensive glass, or spotting up in the corner when the defense collapses. Of course, no blockbuster comes without its hurdles. Jackson is signed through 2027 at a $30+ million hors AV per Spotrac estimates, and the Lakers already carry a hefty luxury tax bill. But what if LA's brass, led by Rob Pelinka, leverages some mid-tier contracts, say Rui Hachimura or Christian Wood, to bridge the gap? Perhaps a sign-and-trade with Memphis could soften the financial hit. What if a creative package of draft picks, a veteran swap, and a little cap savvy brings Jackson in without mortgaging the Lakers' future? Could this be the kind of headline-grabbing risk that the NBA landscape needs right now, especially in a Western Conference more loaded than ever? Let's break down Jackson's profile further. He averaged 2.5 blocks per game last season, ranking second in the league, and his defensive rating clocks in at a stingy 98.5 when he's on the floor, per Cleaning the Glass. Offensively, he's not just a role player. He posted career highs in points, 18.8 PPG, and three-point attempts, 5.1 per game, in 2024-25. Yet scouts note his occasional inconsistency. He still battles through stretches of low efficiency and a somewhat narrow playbook. Could a change of scenery, playing alongside generational talents instead of carrying the offense in Memphis, unlock an entirely new level? Some insiders believe that with even half the usage he shoulders in Tennessee, Jackson's per-minute production could skyrocket in LA. Meanwhile, the ripple effects on the Lakers' supporting cast would be profound. D'Angelo Russell might slide to more off-ball duties, unleashing his off-ball cutting prowess. Austin Reeves would gain a steady lob target when defenses collapse on LeBron and Luka. Defensive schemes under coach Darvin Ham could shift from scramble-based hedge-heavy approaches to more switch-heavy rim protection-first covers. Could this be the subtle tweak that transforms the Lakers from a decent regular season team into a bona fide championship contender? Of course, the biggest question remains: is Memphis even willing to part with Jackson? Grizzlies GM Zach Kleiman has built the franchise's identity around young, switchable defenders, and trading away their defensive anchor could set off a rebuild. But whispers around the league suggest Memphis might be intrigued by a package centered on draft capital plus veteran rotational pieces, especially if they believe the window to keep Ja Morant open requires more shooting around him. Could the thought of acquiring future first-rounders and shedding Jackson's hefty contract in the process be tempting enough to pull the trigger? And what of the ripple effect on the Lakers' culture and locker room dynamic? Adding Jackson Jr. would signal to LeBron James that the front office remains committed to title contention, even as the Kings' career winds down. For younger players, like Cam Reddish or Gabe Vincent, it would be a masterclass in two-way excellence. Meanwhile, opponents around the league would tremble at the thought of facing a trio of LeBron, Luka, and Jaren, three all-NBA-level talents who blend perimeter, playmaking, slashing, and rim protection. Could this be the blueprint that finally dethrones the juggernauts of the West? But here's what I want to ask you. Could Jaren Jackson Jr. really be the missing piece in LA's title puzzle? Or is this just a distraction born of post-playoff frustration? If he is acquired, do you believe his offense inconsistencies will vanish in Luke's orbit, or will Lakers fans endure another 3-and-D who struggles to find his rhythm? And financially, is this a bridge too far, or a calculated stretch that can pay dividends for seasons to come? Imagine a front-court configuration so fearsome that opposing offenses hesitate even before crossing half-court. Jaren Jackson Jr. at just 25 years old could provide that exact jolt for the Lakers, an infusion of youth, length, and defensive virtuosity that meshes beautifully alongside Anthony Davis's championship-caliber two-way prowess. Davis, despite his undeniable impact, has seen his availability come into question year after year, as nagging injuries and heavy minutes sap his legendary athleticism. Now, consider a scenario in which the Lakers can preserve Davis's knees and prolong his peak by sharing the center duties with Jackson. You'd see Davis sliding out to cover mobile forwards in switch-heavy schemes, using his foot speed and instincts to patrol the perimeter, while Jackson anchors the paint, punishing paint penetrators with rim protection that earned him a Defensive Player of the Year nod. This duality transforms LA's defense into a Swiss Army knife, flawlessly adapting to small ball lobs one moment and towering up against traditional bigs the next. Could this dynamic duo, Davis as the roaming guardian and Jackson as the immovable force, represent the most versatile front-court tandem in the league's history?